We're
Good
good. How are
morning.
you?
Good. So what did you think of a virtual camp this year?
It was definitely more than I was expecting that we were gonna have, and I was so happy that we had it. I thought it was really good.
How much were you able to participate in?
I participated in almost every single thing that was available for me, and it was great.
All right, tell me, where are you? How many years have you been going to camp now?
Oh boy. I've been
Yeah,
going to camp for 9 years, I think,
awesome.
and I'm at school right now.
You're at school right now.
Yeah,
So you're Zooming from school?
yeah,
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. They gave you some time to do this?
yeah. They gave me 5 minutes out of my first period class.
When does that start? 5 minutes ago?
No, at 8:15.
Oh, okay, cool.
Amy, maybe if you could just kind of take us back a little bit, what Katie went through, her cancer, and what that was all like when you kind of heard that news, I guess.
Oh, it was horrible.
Don't cry. Okay.
I was not expecting that question. It was an incredibly rude shock. She'd always been a super energetic, really healthy kid. And it came out of nowhere. And it made the next 2.5 years just a roller coaster. And some of those moments were the worst I have ever had in my life. They were absolutely terrifying, gut wrenching, miserable. And then there were these moments in which people showed up for us in these wonderful ways and totally changed the day around, at least, or the moment. And so it was a never ending kind of roller coaster. And it really early in that process, one of my former students, I had helped her to write an essay about Camp TaKumTa. She was a former camper. And she made sure, while Katie was first diagnosed, that I got a fresh copy of that essay and that my parents did. And we watched her play basketball that winter whenever Katie was well enough to go. And one of the coolest things about going off to camp that first year is that I knew Katie was in her hands.
Mm.
Not just that I could trust that all her doctors and nurses and loving volunteers would be there for her, but there was this connection to the kingdom. There was somebody who knew her and had her interest in mind. And it was just extraordinary to connect that funny loop. It was something to look forward to in the years that she was sick. And then to get on that bus the first year and go off and have this amazing adventure. Hard to express how much that means.
Talk a little bit about because you're in the education business. I know you're filthy rich. Talk talk a little bit about what it's like dealing with the financial burdens of having a child, not only who has cancer, but has to be treated all the way down in Burlington, right?
Yeah, it's a 2+ hour drive for us every time we visit. And during that first year in particular, we were very frequent visitors. Thankfully, my parents live in South Burlington, and so we had a base of operations in Chittenden County, but it was hard. There was a lot of money flowing out of our pockets for gas. The community here was very good to us, raised a lot of money to see us through. The hospital staff could not have loved our child more. I can't say enough good things about UVM's medical center. It was the place we needed to be, and if we had to spend extra for gas to get there, that's what we would do. But for sure, it didn't leave much in the savings account when we had finished.
So after all of this, your daughter comes back from camp. What did you see changing in her life?
So Katie has always been this very outgoing, funny kid. It's not hard for her to make new friends. I will tell you that that very first year, she got on the bus and didn't look back. She had the grace at least to say goodbye. And just kind of took off. The second year she went off to camp,
I didn't say goodbye or hug them.
she totally forgot. She was so busy yammering with her friends that she got on the bus and took off without ever saying goodbye. But we picked her up that first year. And for those who've not been to camp, one of the last traditions is that you sort of walk or drive the gauntlet as staff members and volunteers line the driveway. And of course, we're all crying, having seen the slideshow of all these tremendous activities they'd done all week and all the fun they'd had. And all these people I don't know are loving my child and encouraging her. And she is crying and she didn't want to come home. And I thought, we're going to get a call from social services. Clearly, camp then at our house. But it's very moving to see the connections that form in that week, and to know that that sits somewhere deep in my kid's heart and nurtures her and encourages her year round, and has since she was very young.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Katie Kelly and her mom, Amy. And let me get you those phone numbers, 863-1051, or toll free from Vermont and New York, 1-800-501-9565. Remember, you can make your donations safely, securely online at WKOL.com. Katie, talk a little bit about, let's talk a little bit about prom and what that was like for you at camp.
The prom is so much fun. My friends and I, we always like kind of take over the photo booth that they have there every year. And I always walk away with like 40 photos when I need like 2. But then there's also just all the dancing, the great food. And then like there's everybody there and we're all just like having a good time. And it's just an energy, fun-filled packed night. And it's so much fun.
I was going to say, you remember when the dining hall was still in a tent.
Yes.
And now you've got that incredible dining hall built out in front of the lodge building, and it's pretty nice in there, right?
It's so nice in there. It's insane.
And talk a little bit about the decorating that goes on as part of the prom.
Oh, wow. Depending on the theme each year, it just seems to get more and more decorated. Like every single year, somehow they step up their game, and the whole pavilion is decorated in ribbons and lights and like these whole cool sculptures. And one year it was Arctic theme and we had fake snow. And another year it was like Arabian themed and we had like turbans and like big cool camels and like things like that. And it was so cool.
Katie, I know on my trips to Camp TaKumTa, I've kind of walked around and seen the friendships that you guys have made. And sometimes while other kids are off doing different activities, there may be just a group of maybe 4 or 5 of you that are sitting underneath one of the trees, just doing something and chit-chatting. Talk a little bit about what that's been like, those friendships that have formed, and what it's like to have that connection with some other folks that have gone through what you've gone through.
The connections I have made have honestly been so nice to have, because I still talk to so many of the people that I go to camp to every single day. And then when we actually get to camp, it's like we never skipped a beat and we're so close that we can tell each other anything. We can just talk for hours. And it's like we never get tired of each other, even though when we're together, we're talking all the time. And then when we're not, we're texting all the time. We're just always together. And the friendships I've made will honestly last my entire lifetime. I truly believe.